What I saw was what appeared to be an ambush. He was taken by surprise, very cold, very calculated. This person had planned to do it quickly and without warning.
It's bone-chilling when you think of that motive.
Just how dangerous.
Extremely dangerous. But this killer was another level. The wolf in sheep's clothing. Your concerns are, is it going to be a gun battle?
Hi, I'm Nancy O'Dell. Today's Crime Exposé takes us to Fort Myers, Florida. Its sandy white beaches are often called a sliver of paradise, and not the type of place you would expect to find a terrifying homicide. But that is just what happened in the case of Pam Hutchinson. The shocking clues found at the scene would spark a nationwide manhunt to catch a ruthless killer before another innocent victim's life could be taken. The date was April 9th. It was a beautiful Monday evening when a call came into the Lee County Sheriff's Office. The cleaning woman at a local resort had just found the lifeless body of a woman inside condo number 405. Where was the victim found inside the condo?
She was in the bathroom, face down.
The victim was surrounded by a pool of blood, and it was clear she had been dead for at least a few days. Could you determine how she had been killed?
Gunshot wound. It entered through her back area and then traveled up through her upper torso and then eventually came out the front.
The bullet was found lodged in the ceiling. A toothbrush located in the sink told a grim story of the victim's last moments alive. So the victim was shot to death while she was brushing her teeth?
It appeared to me that she had been ambushed.
And what did that reveal to you about the killer?
It shows me that this person had planned something and they planned to do it quickly and without warning.
Police immediately learned the room had been registered to 59-year-old Pam Hutchinson. They located her purse on the kitchen counter, but her wallet, her cash, and her credit cards had been taken.
We're looking for her driver's license, looking for her personal effects, and they just weren't there in the room. Her personal belongings weren't there anymore.
But the troubling clues found at the scene failed to paint a picture of a robbery gone wrong.
There didn't appear to be any sort of forced entry, any sort of altercation inside the room itself.
The Virginia native and successful businesswoman was recently divorced and had decided to vacation down in Florida to soak up the sun and take some time to herself. The resort surveillance cameras captured Pam checking in alone 6 days before, on April the 3rd, which made what police found in her guest room incredibly suspicious. What did you find in the guest room?
I thought it was strange that there appeared to be another person in the guest bedroom, the guest bathroom. It looked like someone else had been staying there as well. So that was definitely a red flag for me.
Detectives wondered if Pam's murder had been a part of a sinister plan. What was your theory on why she had been killed?
The first thing that goes through your mind is it domestic violence? Did she know her killer?
And this meant the shooter might still be at large in their community.
When I first hear about the murder, I say, oh my God, this is a tourist part of town. I mean, we don't have this at this part of the town. It's extremely rare. This is a place where people come to relax and enjoy the beaches. It's a safe place. It's a beautiful place. I know this is going to draw huge attention.
That must have been a lot on you. How much pressure did you feel to find the killer?
You have a killer on the loose, and I felt that clock ticking. You never know what they're capable of. The last thing you want is for them to kill again.
And did you think that Pam's killer could have been somebody in that bar?
were really honing in on that video and trying to get facial recognition.
Detectives investigating Pam Hutchinson's murder were focusing on anyone in her life who would have wanted her dead. But they quickly determined her former husband could not have committed the crime. Did you rule him out because he had an alibi?
He was up in the Virginia area. It was a solid alibi.
With Pam's ex scratched off their list, detectives focused on casting a wider net. Could you find anyone who would have wanted to harm her?
I couldn't. Everyone that I spoke with, friend or family, even the people at the condominium, had nothing but wonderful things, kind things to say about her. Again, no real enemies that I could ever find.
Detectives were now convinced Pam had been murdered by someone she had just met during her short stay at the resort.
This is someone that she may not know very well, someone that targeted her specifically.
Detectives gathered more information on Pam Hutchinson's Facebook page. She had posted photos which clearly show she had been having a great trip.
She was out and about on the town. She was having dinner and shopping. And
she's smiling. She looks like she's having a good time on vacation.
The hotel manager revealed that Pam had originally booked her room for 3 nights, ending on April the 6th. But instead of checking out that day, she called down to extend the trip to April the 9th. Investigators theorized the homicide had taken place shortly after the mysterious call to add 3 nights to her stay.
it was very strange.
Investigators hoped assembling a detailed timeline of her last known steps would be the key to cracking the case. Bank records showed 6 days before, on the evening of April the 5th, Pam had dinner at a nearby bar. Surveillance cameras documented her socializing with the woman sitting next to her.
It just seemed like they were having a good time, talking with other people at the bar.
Detectives questioned the bartenders who attended to them, hoping they had seen someone around them who looked suspicious.
Nothing really stood out to them other than, hey, I vaguely remember these ladies at the bar and they were just having a good time.
Detectives took a close look at everyone in the restaurant that night. Did you think somebody in the bar could have been Pam's killer?
We're really honing in on that video and trying to get, facial recognition, trying to get all the camera angles that we can.
Detectives believed if they could identify the woman in the video, she might point them in the direction of Pam's killer. How about the staff? Did they recognize the woman in the video?
No one knows who this woman is. No one knows her name.
Detectives noted at around 7:35 p.m., Pam and her friend left the bar. They carefully watched the footage to see if the two women had been followed. But later that day, surveillance footage showed the two women heading towards Pam's condo. There didn't appear to be anyone else nearby.
There's nothing strange, there's nothing necessarily unusual about it.
They went inside Pam's room, and less than an hour later, Pam's friend left. Detectives patiently watched the video. They knew it was only a matter of time before they would see the killer entering Pam's room.
Our suspect killed at least twice, murder times 2. The concerns are, is it going to be a gun battle?
Investigators were intently examining surveillance footage from outside Pam's condo. Pam's friend from the bar had left around 7:45 that night, but what she did next would blow the investigation wide open.
She's at the landing there in front of the elevator, and she's kind of just loitering around in that area. It looks almost like she's talking to herself, or she might even be upset visibly, crying.
The woman's bizarre behavior was incredibly disturbing, and detectives became even more troubled when she returned to the room and began removing Pam's personal items.
I see several times where the suspect is taking clothes and bags and even hats and other accessories of the victims out with her. And she's very nonchalant about it. She's very no big deal, acting as if this is normal, this is my stuff. No one really stopped to think anything. No one stopped to question her. No one really thought anything other than, okay, this woman obviously stays here and this is her belongings, and she's just doing her thing.
Cameras recorded the woman in the parking lot where she was loading bags into Pam's car. All of the clues pointed to one stunning conclusion. The woman from the video was Pam's killer.
You see her walk out after she kills this woman in cold blood.
The surveillance footage convinced investigators it had been Pam's killer who placed the call to hotel staff asking to extend her stay. The call had been placed at 8:30 a.m., shortly before the woman left the room for the last time.
It made me mad. It sickened me, really, just to know what happened in the room, seeing the evidence, seeing the victim, and then watching it almost all on video.
They quickly found security footage of the suspect taking items out of a white Cadillac Escalade in the hotel parking lot.
So at that point, we knew the make and model, we knew the VIN, we knew the plate number, so we get that entered into a national database so that way we can try to find out where this vehicle is located.
They discovered that the Escalade belonged to Lois Reese. A short while later, surveillance video showed Lois Reese taking Pam's car from the same parking lot. Less than a mile from the resort, police discovered Lois's white Cadillac Escalade abandoned in a nearby parking lot. So at that point, what is going through your mind?
Who is this person? Where did she come from?
In looking at Reese's Minnesota driver's license, she appeared to be a match to their suspect from the resort's video. And there was more. 2 weeks before Pam's murder, Lois Reese's husband had been found shot to death on his bathroom floor.
We quickly start identifying our suspect. We know that we begin, communicating with the Minnesota Police Department. I remember talking to the chief up there, and simultaneously he was working a case in Minnesota where she killed her husband.
Lois Reese had taken more than $11,000 from her husband's bank account before she went on the run.
She was also being investigated for credit card fraud and felony theft type fraud.
The pieces of the puzzle were slowly painting a horrifying picture of Lois Reese's reign of terror.
Killing her husband and then coming down here, she meets our victim, who's very similar looking, and takes her life and takes her identity. It's cold-blooded and it's calculated.
How much pressure did you feel to take Lois Reese off the streets?
I felt immense pressure. Obviously, one homicide is tragic enough, but to then learn that this is in part of an ongoing investigation up in Minnesota where another homicide occurred, then you're going, oh man, we've got to find this person as soon as possible. We do not want this to happen to anybody else. We do not want to have to go tell another loved one that their family member is dead.
Just how dangerous did you think she was?
Extremely dangerous. This killer was another level. She did not look like someone that was capable of killing anyone. She was a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Reese's first stop was at a bank in Fort Myers. Wearing Pam's hat, she withdrew $5,000.
She steals the victim's identity after she kills this woman in cold blood. It's bone-chilling.
Police tracked Reese's movements as she continued driving north.
Lois Reese is using those credit cards and her accounts to pay for hotels, to pay for gas and food, as it appears she's trying to flee.
From there, Reese set out on a cross-country gambling spree.
And she begins to go all over the country gambling with our victim's identification.
We see her throughout the panhandle of Florida. We catch her on license plate readers in the Louisiana area, and then also in Texas. We have receipts of her winnings at a casino. I have video surveillance of her at the gas station, just buying little trinkets, little food and drink. And so it appears to me that she's not feeling any sort of guilt or remorse. She's not feeling the weight of what she just did.
Security footage then showed Reese attempting to use Pam's ATM card, but the transaction failed. Law enforcement feared with Pam's funds drying up, Lois Reese would begin hunting for her next prey.
She's running out of supplies and resources. She doesn't know where to go next. She killed 2 people, and I was afraid she was going to do it again. I always knew with the resources that I had available to me here at the Lee County Sheriff's Office that we would find her. It's just a matter of, can we get her in time? It was just my fear of, will I get to her before she does something bad again? That was my biggest fear.
Law enforcement nationwide knew every second counted.
This is an all-hands-on-deck manhunt.
14 days after Pam's murder, U.S. Marshals in Texas tracked Lois down. A customer at a nearby bar had recognized her from news reports.
She's spotted after numerous billboards, Crime Stoppers, intelligence being shared throughout all police departments, locally, state, and federally.
She was sitting at the bar, talking with other people. She's in a populated area. This is a tourist area, similar to Fort Myers Beach. This is a populated restaurant. There was certainly the fear of she's killed twice, at least that we know of. A gun was used, which hasn't been recovered. And so there was a lot of planning, a lot of strategizing of how exactly to go about getting her into custody.
As the U.S. Marshals made their move, they knew Lois Reese was armed, dangerous, and might not go down without a fight.
Your concerns are, when we confront her, is it going to be a gun battle?
But law enforcement had her surrounded and took Reese into custody without incident. How did you feel when U.S. Marshals notified you they had arrested Lois?
Just a sigh of relief. We got her.
With Reese behind bars, Fort Myers investigators immediately got on a plane to question her.
She was there in the holding cell, brought her into the interview room, and we attempted an interview, but she invoked her right to remain silent. So we actually never were able to speak with her.
It was clear that the 56-year-old never felt a shred of remorse for the lives she had cut so tragically short. On December 17th, Lois Reese pled guilty to Pam Hutchinson's murder. She was sentenced to life in prison without parole. And the following year, she was transferred to Minnesota to face first-degree murder charges in the death of her husband, David Reese. Once again, she pled guilty and was given another life term. In the case of Pam Hutchinson, she was exploring new connections and embracing a renewed sense of freedom amidst an impending divorce. Unfortunately, this openness led to a tragic encounter with an individual who had ulterior motives. Pamela's assailant, Lois, targeted her by exploiting her friendly nature. The key takeaway from this case is the importance of being cautious when dealing with strangers or someone you just met. If someone is pushing too hard or too quickly to establish a relationship, it could be a red flag. Such pressure is often a sign of ulterior motives. Trust your intuition if something feels off in a new friendship or relationship. When words and actions don't align, it is one of the quickest ways to tell that someone may not be trustworthy and therefore may not have your best interest at heart. Avoid secluded locations for initial outings and let a friend or family member know where you're going and who you're meeting. Even share your location live. Text them with updates and let them know when you expect to return. Your safety and well-being should always be your priority and come first. I'm Nancy O'Dell. For all of us here at Crime Exposé, please join us next time and stay safe.